the campaign was running pretty smoothly throughout the Louis Vuitton series, but there was one day in one race where it was the Capsize day, and it was pretty dramatic on watching on TV and seeing you guys there kind of hanging from the boat. What happened there, and how was how what was it like that I guess that next 24 hours to try and get back onto the water?
Yeah, that day's that day was hectic.
Yeah.
um, yeah, I guess that day I remember it pretty clearly. We Blair Tuke and I every morning sort of, I guess, in our routine we'd go, grab a coffee in the race village and um, go down to the seawall and sort of look out to the race course and just have a quick little chat about anything in particular for sort of the foil trimming that day, and we
Mm.
just, stay pretty chilled at that stage. But I remember that morning when we were looking out there, it was like, shit, this is top end stuff. And I think both of us probably thought, it was almost, we're probably leaning on the side of the fence that we might not get sent out because it's pretty windy out there today.
Mm.
But then when they sent us out about an hour later, and it was all go sort of from the beginning. And that day we broke a part of our wing sail on the way out, so the big main wing. We broke
Mm.
that on the way out to the race course, and like so the whole day started off pretty hectic because we had to turn around about 5 minutes into our warm up out there and try and make it back to shore in time to put our spare wing on the boat and
Mm.
then get back out there in time for the first race. And I remember we were we were like honing down a small gap in the, you sort of had to sail through a small gap in the reef to get from the shore bases to the race course in Bermuda.
Mm.
And we had to turn around and pull off a pretty top end hectic bear away to get through this 100 meter wide gap in the reef and pull off a pull off a jibe to get back into the harbour and get that wing sail down and the new one up in time and get back out there. And I remember going into that foiling that jibe to just get back into the harbour. It was probably the windiest jibe we had actually ever done
Mm.
on the boat at the time. So like even just getting through that jibe was like, there was just so many hurdles throughout the day to get through. And then once we got ashore, the whole shore team getting the broken, or getting the boat first out of the water back onto shore, getting the broken wing out, getting the new one back in, and then getting us back out there in time to compete in the first race of the day. And we were like on a timed run pretty much for the start line, and we made it just in time. Um, did a pretty solid race. Like, it was bloody windy, and
Mm.
just getting around the racetrack was pretty hard work. But I think we grinded back throughout that race and managed to beat the Brits. And we pulled up alongside the chase boat, and like everyone was just, it was everyone was pretty ecstatic. Like, that's probably the most praise we've ever gotten from Daltz, because he was patting us on the back, like, because there were so many distractions throughout the morning. He was just, I think he was really proud that we'd pulled off a really solid race and gotten the win.
Mm.
So he was stoked, and sort of we all sat there and sort of reset before the second race of the day. Um, a bit calmer than the going into the first race of the day. And then I guess 10 minutes later, we're on the nose, and we capsized. Just pretty, unfortunate mistake really.
Mm.
And then yeah, I guess that came from us being a bit high in the start box, and we were very down speed at the time, and the Brits managed to bear away and get through the start line, and we had a pretty similar run at it that they did. But just the way our boat was set up, we couldn't quite ease our sails as much as they could, or this or that, and we couldn't pull off the bear away, and the
Mm.
rudders came out of the water. And I remember, um, yeah, as soon as the rudders came out of the water, it was all over really.
Mm.
And it happened so quickly from then on. Next thing I knew, I was popping up in the water, probably on top of Josh Jr. And Blair Tuke popped up next to us, and I think us three sort of flew off the boat, and the other three on the boat managed to hold on and stay on the boat. So
Yeah.
yeah, we got picked up by a rib, and yeah, that was day over, obviously for us. And I think from then on, for the next 24 hours, 48 hours before we got back racing, um, it was just seriously impressive to see how the team came together, and everyone was just really determined to, get the boat back into a state where it could go out and finish off the racing against the Brits a couple of days later, because
Mm.
um, I think the next day was blown out because it was too windy the next day. So we got lucky and got a bit more time because we weren't ready to get back out there the next day because there was still, bits and pieces missing.
Yeah.
um, yeah. So yeah, it was pretty unreal experience, really.
Yeah.
Um, just seeing how everyone, including, some of the board of directors getting involved with doing their bits and pieces around the base for those 48 hours.
Mm.
No one, I don't think many people got a lot of sleep during that time, but
Mm.
yeah.